In this video, we're going to be making a tier list for the Dream Realm store, talking about which are the most important heroes to be investing your currency into, and should you be picking up the Temporal Essences at all. We're going to go through all of that. We're going to rank the heroes based on the tiering we have here. We'll also be giving each hero a badge to whether you should take them to Supreme Plus, which will be S Plus, or all the way up to the Paragon tiers with P if they are a meta PvP hero. Okay, so let's get right into it. We have Entendre to begin with. So Entendre is a hero which in the early game, like when global launch happened, she was used in AFK stage pushing. That was basically her only role, and even today, her major role is only for AFK stages, and pretty soon you will not be using her anymore once you have a better team built up. For PvP, she has very limited use. So overall, Entendre is not a terrible hero. However, she just doesn't really offer anything either. I'm gonna put her in the C tier, honestly, because I have to be critical. I don't think you should be wasting your dream currency. There are a lot of heroes in this shop, and there are quite a few that you would want to upgrade to Paragon tiers. Moving on to Arden. So Arden is a good PvP hero right now. He is fine in AFK stages, however, Tassi does outshine him and is a better damage dealer generally for AFK stages. That is kind of the problem with Arden. He still has a good place in PvP though, so I can't put him in the S plus tier, but I will put him in the S tier. And as he is a key PvP hero, which I do recommend to upgrade through Paragon tiers, like right now in the Iron Nuke team, you can use Arden in it, and I think that is a good like budget to mid-spender team, and I'm even running on my main account, and it is my best team I can put together. So Arden is a good hero overall, and he is a Paragon priority due to his power in PvP. But he is not an S plus tier hero because nowadays, honestly, do you really need Arden? No, because like Tassi kind of does his job better in both AFK stages and PvP. So, and more heroes are going to be coming out, which are going to make these heroes even like over time, they're going to fall to a lower level than what they currently are at. And another key thing to talk about that we'll be talking about in this tier list is heroes for Ravaged Realm, because in Ravaged Realm you're limited to the factions, and there are some heroes which definitely dominate over others, and those are going to be important for you to build up at least a Supreme Plus for Ravaged Realm. Okay, Damien. So Damien is a really good support for PvP because he can keep respawning his Toy Chariot. He never actually dies, which means that it doesn't count as an enemy getting a kill when his Toy Chariot is killed, and also it allows him to survive for as long as your team is able to. He's a great support for PvP. He provides haste buff, he provides bursts of healing, he can even stun the enemies. So I think Damien is an S plus tier hero, even more important than Arden, and he is a Paragon priority due to how powerful he is in PvP. He is a major, one of the top heroes you can be getting from the Dream Store and trying to upgrade in Paragon. Okay, we have Faye. Faye, as of right now, is not useful pretty much at all. I would recommend just pass on Faye, save your currency for more important heroes. Okay, next up we have Khafra. And maybe I'm going to be critical, like I said. For most people, I don't see any point of you building up Khafra. He is not good for Ravaged Realm. Up until now, he hasn't been. And like in PvP, yeah, he can be fine, and it's cool to showcase his potential if he's fully invested. But if you fully invested into any other carry damage dealer, they're also going to do a roundabout as well as Khafra. So maybe I'm a bit of a Khafra hater, but honestly speaking, I'm going to put him in the C tier. I do not think he's a priority to upgrade. And these heroes in the C tier, I'm not going to bother even giving them a badge, because it basically means you do not even need to build these heroes. So Coco is a hero that I have to put in the S plus tier, but it doesn't mean that, for example, she's a Paragon priority. So that is what I'm going to talk about really for Coco specifically. So why is she in the S plus tier? It is because for early game in Dream Realm, and even for pre-Endless Dream Realm, you used Coco for the damage reduction, and you really want to get Coco to Mythic Plus as quickly as possible so she has bonus shielding for your team. That is a powerful bonus. So you can even potentially stop with Coco at Mythic Plus. You don't need to take her to Supreme Plus, but eventually you will want to get her to Supreme Plus just to max her out. Now the thing is, should you be Paragon upgrading her? I'm going to give her the S plus badge. The thing is, Coco, she's having a lot of trouble in PvP these days. I remember when I was an earlier game player, and even maybe in the Song of Strife season, even Waves of Intrigue thanks to the Mauler faction tiles, she was a good option in PvP. But this season, when the Mauler faction talent tile is just kind of average, nothing amazing, you're really seeing how lackluster Coco is, because Coco has a fundamental problem that she basically provides nothing to your team until she casts her ultimate. And like in a lot of fights, you're not going to be able to guarantee that she survives long enough to cast her ultimate, and then she's just not going to get any value off for your team. So like, even though I have a Paragon 2 Coco on my main account, I just don't use her pretty much, other than if I want to enable Mauler faction tiles, but then I'm just mainly using her for a charm bonus onto another hero, and for inspiration, intimidation stats due to a Paragon upgrade. She usually never gets off her ultimate. So that is a problem with Coco. I think nowadays, in the current climate or environment, I would just not recommend Paragon upgrading her, because there are heroes which are more important than her, in my opinion. Okay, let's continue. So we have Corrin. Corrin is a hero. Now, here's the thing. Now things are going to get a little bit tricky. Corrin is a hero which I'm not going to put in the S plus tier because he's not meta in Dream Realm, and Coco is meta in Dream Realm. Corrin is not good in PvP. However, Corrin is good for Ravaged Realm as a damage dealer, and early game before you have other heroes built, if you get Corrin to Mythic Plus, he can be a good damage dealer even for Dream Realm, but pretty soon you're going to replace him for something else. But he gets the S Plus badge, Supreme Plus, and he is an S tier hero to be building, and for Ravaged Realm, he is great, and so everyone eventually should have Corrin built on his account. Even for other game modes, sometimes battle drills and various things, Corrin has a lot of use, so I'm going to definitely put Corrin in the S tier. Okay, we have Kruger. Kruger is an important hero, but the question is, do you have to build him up to Supreme Plus? Because Kruger is a hero, he's a one copy wonder. He gets into the fight, he survives long enough, he applies his defense down debuff to increase your physical damage. And that is useful in Dream Realm, it's going to be useful probably in Ravage Realm. And overall, he's a good hero. However, eventually you will want to upgrade him. And because he also deals pretty decent damage himself with his skills in Dream Realm if you're using him in a comp. And so like I would say get him to Supreme Plus, and I'm gonna put him in the A tier, and it doesn't mean that he's not a priority. Like, I mean, everyone should get Kruger to one copy, and like that is very easy to do. But taking him to Supreme Plus, that is a lower priority. Definitely Corrin is more important to take to Supreme Plus compared to Kruger, like we have here. But Kruger A tier, he's a good hero, but he's not really. He can work at one copy, and so that is why he's not going to be rated high on this list. Maybe I should even remove the Supreme Plus badge. Yeah, I'll remove that. Okay, so Lucius. Lucius is a hero which, honestly, not used anywhere. Right now, he's not used anywhere. In battle drills of the previous season, he was used to, like, because shielding was needed. He is a shielder. There are limited shielders in the game. There's value from that. But honestly speaking, I don't even know if I can... Can I put him in the B tier? I can put him in the B tier, but... And we can give him the Supreme Plus badge, but... Honestly, yeah, because like if you're building Lucius, you have to upgrade him. But I just don't know. Like, it's only if a game mode comes out where shielding is needed, that is his only value. And in the previous season, he had a pretty good charm bonus. I think it was. Anyway, okay, next up we have Laika. So Laika is a good support hero for like diagonal comps. She's even deals pretty decent damage herself on the wild faction tiles. I do see Laika potentially having more use in the future. She provides a non-permanent stat boost to your allies from the beginning of the match. In Ravage Realm, she is a good damage dealer. So like for all of those reasons, I'm going to put her in the A tier, not S tier or anything like that. And I do say get her to Supreme Plus because she is a damage dealer. Getting her to Supreme Plus are going to increase her stats, and there's value behind that. And yeah, but if you're using her in like a diagonal comp, like a high level PvP comp, you'll want a Paragon upgrade her for the inspiration intimidation. But for most people, Supreme Plus is all she needs. Okay, we have Merrily. Merrily is a really important hero. Honestly, I'm even tempted to put in the S plus tier because as of right now, and you don't need a Paragon upgrader. She's only for Dream Realm basically, or PvE content. She's good in Ravage Realm as a damage dealer. Right now in Thalassa, if you're limited on options, she can be a good damage dealer. Pre-Endless, I think she also was decent for Thalassa specifically. I don't know if I can put her in the S plus tier. I'm going to put her in front of the Corrin, but we're going to put her in the S tier. But she is an important hero to build. Basically, the S tier and above heroes, you should have all of these heroes built, at least to Supreme Plus. This is really kind of crucial for every account. I don't think you can pass on it. The ones in the A tier, Kruger only needs one copy, but eventually you want to max them out. Laika, she needs Supreme Plus for Ravage Realm mainly. Other than that, she's not really needed on your account, so that's why she's in the lower tier. Okay, we have Muriel. Muriel is really interesting because now after a Supreme Plus skill upgrade, she's actually looking pretty crazy. And I can definitely think in Ravage Realm she's going to be a pretty good option. But as of right now, she hasn't proven herself. However, she has. There were some pre-Endless Dream Realm bosses where she was used. In battle drills, she is a good damager in the bosses. And I feel like there's going to be more future potential Muriel in the future. So honestly, I think I'm going to put Muriel in the A tier, and I will give her the Supreme Plus, but I don't think she's as important as Leica right now, but she's around about that tier. Okay, we have Nero. So Nero is a hero which he's really shining this season, but we have to talk about a couple of things. The most important reason he's shining this season is because of his true damage charms. And if he doesn't have them in future seasons, he's going to be weaker. However, generally his class, like him, Rainier, Hugin, they always generally have a really strong charm effect. And if Nero continues to have one going forward, he will be a meta hero for future seasons as well. And he always has a major value that he can interrupt an enemy Lily May interruption at the beginning of the match to allow your Iron to go off. And that is huge value. And that's why, honestly, I have to put him in the A tier at least. I'm even thinking about the S tier, but no, I'm gonna put him in the A tier, and because for Ravaged Rum, he's not really useful other than this season because of his true damage bonus that he'll give. But generally speaking, other than that, he's not so useful, and he's gonna be of the Paragon badge because if you're going to use him in PvP to interrupt enemy Lily May interruptions, now you want to Paragon upgrade him to provide more inspiration, intimidation to your team after the rivalry stat changes, because he is a meta PvP hero, like the other heroes we have here. Okay, we have Odie. Odie is definitely in the S plus tier, and I think I'm going to put him even in front of Damien, and I'm going to put him with the Paragon badge, because in PvP, Odie isn't necessarily the strongest, especially this season. However, you can always kind of fit around a comp to make him work. Like on wilder tiles, Odie is safe and he's able to get off his damage. You can even run him on different faction tiles, but then he's more susceptible to being killed. He has good damage output. Also in Dream Realm, he's good in Thalassa. He's good in pre-endless Dream Realm bosses, even for like a maxed out account with all heroes built. So Odie is a good hero overall. And he is a Paragon priority that you should be upgrading on your account, in my opinion. So that is why he's number one. He's number one. Okay, we have Parissa. Parissa is going to be, I have to put Parissa in the A tier, and the reason for that is last season she was a great damage dealer in Ravaged Realm, but apart from that, she can also be pretty good in PvP. So I'm gonna put her, even in front of the Leica. We're gonna give her the Supreme Plus. I'm not going to give her the Paragon badge because that is up to you. Like these heroes, Parissa, Leica, if you use them in PvP, even Koga, if you use them in PvP, you can Paragon upgrade them. But personally, I think they pretty much reach their full potential for your account as Supreme Plus, because I think generally they are more Dream Realm or PvE oriented heroes compared to the other ones we gave the P badge, which are much more PvP oriented heroes, which kind of want that in order to maximize their potential. So I think S plus one, the Parissa is a good place for her. And yeah, she's good in battle drills, but no one really cares about that. She can be a backup option as a damage in Thalassa, which has value. She was good in Ravaged Realm. She is good in AFK stages. That's another value, which is really important. And she can be good in PvP. So yeah, she's an all-around solid hero. Now we have Salazar. So Salazar, I apologize if you guys are Salazar fans. For right now, I'm going to keep him in the B tier because even though I've seen his potential in his showcases, I just don't think he's a very important hero for you to build up. And let me explain why. If he turns out to be an amazing hero in PvP, then yes, maybe building him, Paragon upgrading him is going to be good. However, from what I've seen so far, I feel like he's similar to Khafra in that you can make him work and he can be pretty effective, but you don't need him. Like you can run another hero instead of him. It's not really, your team can be just as effective or even more effective. So that's my thoughts on Salazar right now. Maybe I'm biased, maybe I don't have enough experience. And for Ravaged Realm, he's just not the top damage dealer option. There are heroes better than him. So that is kind of the other issue. He does have the Supreme Plus skill upgrade this season compared to the previous season of Ravaged Realm, so I don't know if Salazar could be good enough this season, but I just suspect that he's just not going to be a very important hero for you to build. And honestly, any day I would prefer to have a Nero Paragon upgraded to take enemy Lily May interruption compared to a Salazar. Any day. So that is why, basically, my placement. But if you're going to build Salazar, take him up to Supreme Plus and get his upgrade. Okay, we have Satrana. So maybe I am biased because I am going to be putting Satrana in the A tier. And the reason for that is she has, with her skill plus Supreme Plus upgrade, it is fine. It is definitely a decent boost. But even before that, she has a very unique effect of being able to reduce the vitality of opponents, which it reduces the HP recovery. Also, it helps her to spread Bonnie's debuffs on your allied Bonnie debuff onto the enemies. because she can attack multiple enemies with her magical damage. So for those reasons, Satrana is very interesting. Now, for regular arena, a lot of times, like in those Tossie, Talene, stall comps, people use Satrana Bonnie to try and break through it. And it does work. However, what I'm also seeing again at the top level of PvP, and actually, you know what, guys? I'm sorry. I think I got carried away putting in A tier. I'm gonna put in the B tier. Now, for Paragon priority, like, the thing is with her, if you're gonna build her, like, you can use her just as Supreme Plus, because she will get off her debuffs, like, basically don't overcommit to her. But if you use her a lot in PvP, you will want a Paragon upgrader. But currently, as of right now, I just don't think she has enough use to warrant her being higher than the B tier. She's similar to Salazar, and yeah, I'm much happier with this placement. I don't think she belongs in the A tier. Those heroes are more important for you to build, like Muriel, Leica, Prissa, Kruger. These are for damage, for Ravaged Realm. Yeah, basically dream boss content, PvE content. Nero is a king of he's not a king of PvP, but he is pretty strong in PvP to deny the enemy Lily May. He's a king of denying the enemy Lily May. So that is why I like this placement more. Okay, now we have Seth. So Seth is definitely A tier. There's no question about that. And actually, I'm gonna put him after Prissa, because Prissa is useful in AFK stages, and I'm only going to say Supreme Plus. Now, if you use Seth a lot for PvP, you can Paragon upgrade him. That is not a mistake, and it is a good idea, actually. It will increase his effectiveness, but I do not think he's a very dominant PvP hero. He's fine when you're limited on options, but I would try to make him work as Supreme Plus and Paragon upgrade heroes, which are going to have more long-term value for you. However, that being said, who really knows? Maybe Seth will have more long-term value than Arden or something, for example, but yeah, I would say Supreme Plus, mainly for Ravaged Realm. He's a great damage dealer. If you don't have him built yet, try to build him up for Ravaged Realm, which will be coming up soon. It will improve your performance there. There's no doubt about that. Okay, we have Sylvina. So Sylvina will be my final hero I put in the A tier, because she's a purely PvP hero. She has some use in Ravaged Realm, but very little. Her damage is not great. It's mainly PvP. However, in regular arena, even in Supreme arena, even in Clash fronts, having an Graveborn nuke team is good for the seasonal. And for non-seasonal, having her nuke an enemy who's on a symmetrical tile, it is actually a viable arena offense. Not for defense for regular arena, but for regular arena offense, it is viable. And so for all of those reasons, I'm going to put her in the A tier, but I'm going to put her, honestly, I'm going to put her around the Nero level, because basically Sylvina and Nero, these are PvP heroes, which means that you do not need to build them up. You can use other heroes which are also good in PvP, and you will never basically miss not having Sylvina or Nero on your account. And in fact, I think you would miss Sylvina even less than the Nero, because Nero he does have that value of denying the enemy Lily May interruption, so he can be useful on defense for that. But the heroes who I put above them, I generally believe these are going to have more PvE content uses, whether it be Ravaged Realm, whether it be different game modes which come out, because they have damage output. You're noticing all the A-level heroes here who I'm taking to Supreme Plus, they are all damage dealers. Kruger is just a debuffer, and he can work at one copy. And in the B tier, these are the heroes who are mainly only PvP related and not really as top tier or as influential as Nero and Sylvina, in my opinion. Okay, so we have the Temporal, but I'm going to talk about the Temporal Essences right at the end, because we're nearing the end anyway. So we have Valen. Valen, I do not recommend. Yeah, just leave him. Do not build him. You do not need him for anything. So just leave him just unbuilt. So use your currency on other heroes, Paragon upgrading other heroes. Even here, if you use Seth a lot, if you use Priss a lot in PvP, like Coco, Paragon upgrade them. By all means, Paragon upgrade them. The Supreme Plus is just a recommendation that you really max out basically these heroes at Supreme Plus, but if you use them in PvP, of course you want to Paragon upgrade them. But the other heroes who we have given the Paragon badge, these are basically mainly PvP oriented heroes. Other than Odie, who has uses with both. But that, yeah, just increasing his stats from the Paragon upgrade is also valuable for the Dream Realm. Okay, Viperon. Viperon is a fine hero, but I'm gonna put him in the B tier. To be honest with you, I'm gonna put him in front of Satrana, because he has AoE damage. There could be uses for that. In Ravaged Realm in the previous season, he was fine, but he hardly contributed any damage. He was not the major damage source. So that is kind of the thing with Viperon. I just don't think that he is as important as, for example, your Graveborn A-level wishlist. Well, now you have so much competition. You have Bonnie, you have Velika. But basically, out of these heroes, I definitely would prefer Nero and Sylvina on your wishlist compared to Salazar and Viperon in the current game state. So that is the thing. But Viper on top of the B tier, not bad. If you can afford to, you can build them. But yeah. And then finally we have Walker. And again, you guys know I'm not a fan of Walker. I know he can have PvP uses. He can have PvP uses to stun. I guess I should put him in the B tier for that. He can have PvP uses to stun like an enemy Bonnie to prevent her from casting aging magic at the beginning of the fight, and then you can nuke the Bonnie before she's able to do anything. So that is an idea, right? But I would not really recommend building him unless you are just a fan of him, you want to use him. Personally, I would not, but he does have that utility, and I like heroes with utility. I think that utility heroes are less easy to power creep than just like raw damage heroes who don't really provide that much more to the team. But Walker will not be helpful for PvE content pretty much. So it's just all a PvP related hero. Okay, overall looking at this, I am happy with the positioning of the heroes. I do pretty much agree with it, but now we're going to talk about the temporals. So we have two things. One is going to be the temporal shards, which are going to be 50 dream coins in order to get one shard, and you need 10 shards in total, meaning 500 dream coins in total to convert into one temporal essence. Honestly, I just do not recommend this one. I thought when these first came out, even that would be valuable, because I was like, temporal essences are the most limited resource. This has to be good, right? But honestly, I still think it's way more important for you to build out these heroes and even Paragon upgrade them than get this. And so I'm going to have to put this in the C tier. I just do not think you should be spending on this when you have all these other heroes that you should be building instead. Yeah, I mean, potentially you could put it in the B tier, like maybe over here, somewhere around here before the Walker or something. I think, yeah, maybe this is a more fair place for it. Basically, after you've completely built up your key heroes, which are needed for the different game modes, then you can begin investing in the temporals if you want. But even then, it's probably better to begin Paragon upgrading all of your heroes rather than investing into this. Okay, next up we have the 300. Now the 300 cost dream coins for one temporal essence onto a specific hero. This one has more value because it is a better rate, right? However, it still is expensive, and it is still only one temporal essence at the end of the day, and most importantly, it is locked onto a specific hero. So the only way you get value from it is if it is on a hero you already were planning to upgrade in temporals, which sometimes you are, or if it is on a hero you have already upgraded with universal temporal essences, because then you can convert these locked-in temporal essences into universal up to the swap limit, and the swap limit will be based on the number of universal essences you've already invested into that hero. So either way, I would say this is at the end of the A tier. Basically, after you've completed all the heroes from A tier plus, A tier, S tier, S plus tier, you could just say, okay, I don't really want to build the other heroes, B tier and below. You don't need to build them. That's basically the passable tier. And then you can begin picking up these temporal essences from the shop. Or you can just decide, I want to Paragon upgrade my heroes rather than picking up these 300 temporal essences, and in which case, basically, you would never end up picking up these 300s. And what I'm doing right now is I'm really just hard focusing Paragon upgrades of the heroes that I want for PvP, and I'm not even picking up the temporal essence at all. So, and I think, honestly, that's probably the better way to do it until you have most of these heroes, most of the key PvP heroes at Paragon 4, which is going to be a while for most people. Anyway, guys, that is going to be it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on my placement of all of these heroes in the comment section down below. Do you disagree with anything that I said or how I've positioned these heroes? And feel free to share your own advice and opinions in the comment section. I'm sure that can help out other people as well. But I am overall happy with this. I think it is very representative of what I had in mind for this video. And the most important thing is basically the A tier and above heroes. These are the important ones you want to be built out on your account. And really the S and above tier heroes, these are the must-haves. You have to have these heroes at Supreme Plus or above. In my opinion, these 6 heroes. Yeah, everyone should be doing that. The A tier, you should eventually get it done, but if you want to skip on a few of them, there's no problem with that. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. That is going to be it for this one. I'll hopefully see you in the next video. If you're not already subscribed to our YouTube channel, please smash that subscribe button. We're on the road to 20,000 subscribers. Let's hit it before the end of the season. Thank you guys for the support. Also, feel free to join my AFK Journey Discord server. There's a link to that in the description of this video. We have over 3,400 active members, and we talk about everything related to AFK Journey. So look forward to seeing you guys there and chatting with you more. And you can feel free to ask me any questions there as well. But thanks for watching. Link to the Discord in the description of this video. Thanks for watching. I'll hopefully see you in the next video. And until then, everyone, peace out for now.